A Curse Unveiled. The young woman Amelia was a recluse in a small town nestled within the dense woods. She was an enigma, known only for her mysterious, haunting gaze. Behind her mesmerizing eyes lay a chilling secret that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to look into them. On the first day of school, while her peers eagerly anticipated new beginnings, Amelia saw it as a chance to indulge in her peculiar power. When she gazed upon people, she could perceive their auras, colored outlines that revealed the length of the remaining days. Green hues meant a long life. Orange, yellowish tinges predicted tragic accidents, and the crimson-red end of the spectrum foretold a dreadful demise, often by murder or self-fate. Amelia's heart quickened with excitement as she entered the school courtyard. Her anticipation grew, knowing she would bear witness to the fates that lay before her classmates. The first student she spotted radiated an intense red aura, hinting at a grim fate. Amused, Amelia chuckled to herself, feeling a thrill course through her veins. But her amusement soon turned to dread as more and more students filed into the classroom, each one enveloped in the same ominous crimson glow. The sight was unsettling, and Amelia's pulse raced with unease. She caught a glimpse of her own reflection in the window, her aura tinted with the haunting scarlet hue she had once associated solely with death. The revelation left her frozen in disbelief. As the last student settled into their seat, the door creaked shut, and the professor stepped into the room. Amelia's heart sank as she met his chilling gaze. His aura, a sickening shade of green, revealed a sinister secret, one that sent a cold shiver down her spine. Throughout the class, he would occasionally glance at Amelia, a wicked smile forming on his lips, as if he relished her discomfort. The way he spoke, his voice laced with an eerie charm, made her skin crawl. His lectures took a sinister turn, delving into dark and twisted topics, almost as if he was trying to unravel her mind. Amelia couldn't shake the feeling that he knew something about her, something she had desperately tried to keep hidden. As the days passed, Amelia noticed that the professor seemed to know too much about her personal life, casually mentioning events and occurrences that she had never shared with anyone. It was as if he had access to her innermost thoughts, her deepest fears. The more she tried to distance herself from him, the more he seemed to draw her in like a predator to its prey. One evening, after the class ended, the professor approached her with an eerie grin. He whispered in a hushed voice, recounting vivid details of a recurring nightmare that Amelia had only mentioned to her closest friends. Her blood ran cold, realizing that he wasn't just a mere teacher, but someone with an uncanny ability to tap into her mind. From that moment on, Amelia lived in constant fear, never feeling safe, even in the presence of others. The professor's sinister ways only intensified, and she couldn't escape the feeling that he was toying with her, playing a twisted game of cat and mouse. He seemed to revel in her unease, feeding off of her fear like a predator reveling in the terror of its prey. As the days passed, Amelia could no longer bear the burden of her twisted gift. Every night she would toss and turn in her bed, haunted by the horrifying visions that seemed to seep into her very being. The once vibrant and energetic girl now appeared drained, her eyes haunted by the horror she had witnessed. Determined to find a solution, she sought solace in the forgotten corners of the library, poring over ancient texts and scrolls in search of answers. Day after day, she immersed herself in the dusty tomes, hoping to find a way to break free from the torment that plagued her every waking moment. One fateful night, deep in her research, Amelia stumbled upon an old dusty book hidden behind a pile of forgotten artifacts. Its leather cover felt cool and ancient under her fingertips, and as she opened it, the pages emitted a faint aroma of age and magic. The words seemed to seep into her soul, resonating with her dark gift in an almost eerie harmony. The curse described within the pages was unlike anything she had ever read before, speaking of a malevolent being that reveled in human suffering, cursing its victims to meet their untimely end. Its sinister powers were said to be fueled by the fear and despair of the living, and the mere thought of it sent shivers down Amelia's spine. Terrified, yet desperate to free herself, Amelia realized that the being she had seen lurking within the professor's aura might be the source of the curse that had bound her. Her heart pounded loudly in her chest as she connected the dots. If she wanted to break free from the dreadful visions that tormented her, she knew she had to confront this malevolent entity head-on. The ancient text spoke of a ritual, a dangerous and forbidden practice that could potentially sever the entity's hold on her soul. With trembling hands, Amelia prepared for the ritual, drawing on the forbidden knowledge from the ancient text. She gathered the required herbs, crystals, and symbols needed to create a connection with the malevolent being. The weight of her fear and determination felt heavy on her shoulders as she ventured into the depths of the haunted woods, where the veil between the living and the malevolent spirits was thinnest. The moon hung low in the night sky, casting an eerie glow upon the gnarled trees, as if warning her of the dangers that lay ahead. The woods seemed alive with an unsettling energy, and every rustle of leaves sent her heart racing. Amelia knew she was venturing into a realm of darkness beyond anything she had ever experienced. Yet driven by her desire to break free, she pressed on, determined to face the malevolent entity that held her captive. As she prepared the ritual circle, the air grew thick with an otherworldly presence, and a cold wind brushed against her skin like ghostly fingers. With the ritual circle complete, Amelia began to chant the ancient incantation, her voice trembling with a mixture of fear and resolve. The words seemed to carry weight, vibrating through the very fabric of the woods. Gradually, a shadowy figure appeared with the circle, its form indistinct and terrifying. The being emanated an aura of malevolence and power that threatened to engulf her, but Amelia stood her ground, refusing to back down. Summoning all her courage, she looked into the malevolent entity's eyes and demanded, "Release me from this curse, for I will not be a pawn in your wicked games any longer." Her words rang out with an unyielding determination, and for a moment, it seemed as if the entity hesitated, as if it were taken aback by her audacity. In a chilling voice, the entity acknowledged her revelations with a sinister smile.
"Ah, my dear, you have indeed stumbled upon the curse that binds you. But what makes you think you can break free from it?"
Its voice oozed with malice, sending shivers down Amelia's spine. Dread filled Amelia's heart as the malevolent entity revealed that it had manipulated her visions all along, planting the seeds of terror in her mind to serve its insidious purpose. It had orchestrated the crimson auras she saw, pushing her into a dark abyss of despair. Every nightmarish image that haunted her nights had been crafted by the malevolent wrath, a cruel and calculated game meant to torment her. In a dreadful twist, the malevolent specter revealed that the professor, with his sickening shade of green aura, was but a puppet controlled by its malevolence. The being had manipulated events, leading Amelia to believe he was sinister, all the while feeding off the fear and hopelessness that consumed her. The realization struck her like a hammer blow, the truth revealing itself like a gruesome scene. Amelia's world crumbled around her, as she realized she was nothing more than a pawn in the malevolent specter's cruel game. She had played right into its hands, unwittingly feeding its insatiable hunger for suffering and misery. In that moment, she understood that her life had been a facade of false hope, shattered by the malevolent forces that lurked in the shadows. As the wicked being cackled with delight, Amelia's heart sank into darkness. She had failed to escape the curse that had bound her, and now her twisted gift would forever be tainted by the malevolence that had ensnared her. The hope she had clung to had withered away, leaving her feeling hollow and utterly defeated. Amelia's fate was sealed, forever trapped in a world of horror and despair. The once promising young woman had become a shell of her former self, tormented by the malevolent specter that reveled in her agony. Her days were haunted by visions of unspeakable horrors, and her nights became an endless labyrinth of nightmares. And so, in the small town nestled within the dense woods, a sinister presence lurked, shrouded in darkness and despair. The malevolent wrath's influence remained unchallenged, a chilling reminder that some curses were beyond escape, and some nightmares would never end. The malevolent entity reveled in its triumph, its sinister laughter echoing through the town, serving as a haunting reminder of the darkness that now enveloped Amelia's existence. The once hopeful girl had become an instrument of evil, forever entangled in a web of dread and sorrow. Her once bright future now obscured by an eternal night. You have just listened to A Curse Unveiled on the Ghost Teller Media channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel to hear more creepy, scary horror stories every week.